You may have a 10-week online course based on your book. You could also have a 10-week group coaching program based on your book. Now, what would be the difference? Well, one difference would be the price. You can charge a lot more for your group coaching than you typically can for an online course. Welcome to The Seasoned Entrepreneur, the podcast dedicated to helping entrepreneurs over 50 build and scale their businesses with confidence in today's digital world. I'm your host, Vanessa Collins, and if you're ready to turn your experience and passion into profit, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into strategies, insights, and expert interviews focused on digital marketing, messaging, and automation. Because building a business over 50 isn't just about making money. It's about impact, legacy, and proving it's never too late to thrive. Let's get started. Today's episode is all about monetization, specifically how you can monetize your message from your book. Now, if you've been in my community for a while, you've probably heard me talk about this before, but trust me, it's always worth revisiting. Sometimes we need a refresher to remind us of the opportunities we might have overlooked. So today, I'm sharing 14 ways to generate revenue from your book. So grab a notebook and let's dive in. Now let's start with the easiest ways to monetize your message through digital products. First, let's talk about your ebook. Now, if you haven't written your book yet, you have your physical book and your ebook. But if you've already written your book, hopefully you did your ebook as well. Now, I don't know about you, but I love reading books on Kindle. I still like the physical books, but I'm going to admit, I really like the idea of having my entire library in my pocket. So if you have a physical book, I'm not talking about a workbook, but an actual book, you need to consider offering it as an ebook. Now, your ebook, and when I'm saying ebook, I'm talking about your Kindle book. It's more than just a digital version of your paperback, because the beauty of Kindle books, the links are live. So they can direct your reader to your website, your book funnel, your online courses, wherever you want to take them to. Now, if you don't have an ebook version yet, you are leaving money on the table. Now, while the royalties might be low for ebooks, the real value is in the digital doorway it creates to your other offerings. So, if you have a physical book, set aside a couple of hours this week to format that manuscript for Kindle. The second way you can monetize your book is through the audiobook. Now, the audiobook industry is booming. People love listening while commuting, exercising, or just doing household tasks. I know for me, when I am folding clothes, that is my time to listen to audiobooks. Now, according to recent industry reports, audiobooks continue to be one of the fastest growing segments in publishing, hitting $2 billion in 2023. And yes, that was a B. You already have the content. You already have written the book. You've done the hard part. So you can either narrate it yourself or you can hire a narrator. Now, if you want to learn more about how to produce an audiobook, go to ACX, and that's A is in Apple, C is in cat, X is in X-ray.com. ACX is Amazon's audiobook arm. So just like KDP is for paperback and Kindle, ACX is for audiobooks. And that is how you can produce your audiobook and distribute it on Audible and other platforms. Next, we're going to talk about webinars and masterclasses. So this is number 3. Now, webinars are usually free and they are used for marketing, but they can be amazing for list building and then selling your higher ticket offers. Now, masterclasses or workshops are paid and they offer the opportunity for you to do a deep dive on a particular topic in your book. Now, when I am coaching students and writing their books, I tell them you should be able to create a workshop from every chapter of your book. Now, this is a great way to establish yourself as an authority while also making sales. So this week, if you have your book already done, I want you to identify some workshops that you can do from your book. Number 4, online courses. Your book can be repurposed into an online course. If you have a 10-chapter book, that's a 10-week course. Now, you can break your content into multiple short courses. You can create an educational ecosystem where you can price it anywhere from $197 up to $2,000, $3,000, depending on the depth of the material and what you are offering. So I want you to think about a mini course that you can create for your book. Now, these online courses, they could be live. They can also be pre-recorded. And again, you have the content already. You just have to sit down and decide how you're going to teach it. Think about your book as the curriculum for your workshops, for your online courses, and for some of the other things we're going to talk about. So number 5, your content store, your digital content store. Now, here is where you can upload recordings from your past workshops, your online courses, even your free webinars. You can put them in your online store and charge for access, especially if the information is still relevant. People will pay for access. So I want you to think about all the things, all of that content that you have created. If you do regular Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives and you talk about a series of things, you can download those recordings, and you should be downloading your Facebook Lives because they are now going to disappear after 30 days. So make sure you're downloading your lives. You can download those videos, package them, and put them in your online store. Those videos don't have to be perfect. You're not charging thousands of dollars for those videos, but they are worth something. So make sure you think about all of that content that you have out there, all of those workshops that you've done, and online courses that you may have done in the past. That stuff can go in your online store. Number 6, speaking engagements and seminars. You should develop a signature presentation based on your book. Now, you can offer live workshops and corporate training, keynote speeches, all of this based on the content of your book. Now, if you haven't thought about this already, think about creating a speaker one sheet, highlighting your expertise, and 3 signature talks that you can do based on your book. And if you need some ideas on how to create a speaker one sheet, just go to Uncle Google. search Speaker One Sheets, click images, and you will see a ton of amazing Speaker One Sheets, and it'll give you some ideas of what you can do. Number 7, live events and conferences. So you can host your own live event, invite guest speakers, sell your offers, and it can all be around your book topic. So we did this when I wrote my first book, Intensive Faith Therapy. I wrote that book in 2009, and then in 2011, we did Intensive Faith Therapy conferences, and it was around the topics of my book. You don't have to stay within the confines of your book. Your book can give you some amazing ideas, and you can have what would be like a spinoff based on your book. So you can do a conference if you have a faith-based book, you can have a faith-based conference around the topic of your book. Number 7, coaching programs. Group coaching, one-on-one coaching is a great way to help people implement what's in your book. Now, I'm often asked, what's the difference between an online course and a group coaching program? So here, let me give you an example. You may have a 10-week online course based on your book. You could also have a 10-week group coaching program based on your book. Now, what would be the difference? Well, one difference would be the price. You can charge a lot more for your group coaching than you typically can for an online course. And why is that? Because typically your coaching program is going to be geared more toward implementation and transformation. Your online course is going to be geared more toward information. So this is how I see it in my head as I have been doing this for a number of years. So for your online course, it's typically going to focus 80% information and 20% implementation. So let me tell you how that looks. So let's say you got a 10-week course, week 1, you're covering, chapter 1 of your book. You're going to develop probably a PowerPoint that you will teach the concepts in your chapter. That training, that teaching may be 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And then afterwards, you will probably give an assignment for that. And then you will answer any questions. So we come back for week 2. Week 2, you do your training on the next chapter. And then during the Q&A, you will probably ask for some volunteers of people to share what they did in their homework from the previous week. You generally will not ask everybody to share. You'll just have a couple of people. So again, it's about 80%, 80% information and 30% implementation. In a coaching program, a lot of times you will give them the training from your online course. So for instance, if you've already done the online course, their assignment is going to be to read that chapter of the book, to perhaps listen to that training you've already presented. And then when you guys get together, you're going to be focused 80% implementation and maybe 20% information. So when you get together in that coaching program, you're going to be asking everybody how they did on the homework. Let's work through whatever it was that we talked about or whatever that lesson was about. You're not going to teach chapter 1. They have to read chapter 1. They have to go and look at the video or the audio or whatever information you have provided. When you guys come together, it's about implementation. That is why your online course may cost $497, but your 10-week coaching program may cost $1,500 or $2,000 because it is geared more toward implementation. Number 9, membership programs. This is where you can teach your book content over several months as part of an exclusive membership. Now, I believe if you have a 10-chapter book, you easily have 10 months worth of membership curriculum. And you would charge anywhere from $25 to up to $97 a month for access. Now, usually in a membership program, there is a monthly training. So again, we're training on the content that's already in your book. There may be a monthly training. You may give an assignment, but it's up to them to do the assignment. Your membership program is not a coaching program, but you may identify people in your membership program that you can offer your coaching to. If they want more implementation, if they want more input from you, you are able to then invite them to your coaching program. Number 10, consulting and done-for-you services. So you can offer what we call VIP services. And this is where you help clients execute what you teach in your book. So instead of just teaching them how to do it, you may be able to do it for them. Now, again, it depends on your message. It depends on your book. It depends on your content. If we're talking about marketing or book writing, it's easy to see how you can implement that for them. If we're talking health and wellness, you can't implement for them. I wish I could pay somebody to lose weight for me. It doesn't work that way. However, I could pay someone to create meal plans for me, to create an exercise schedule for me, to create whatever it is that's in their book about health and wellness, to create that program for me. That is a done-for-you service. And those services are high ticket. Done-for-you services can cost anywhere from $2,000, $3,000, all the way up to $25,000. So I want you to I want you to identify 3 or 4 tasks that your readers struggle to implement and that you could create a done-for-you service around. Number 11, retreats and VIP experiences. Now, you can take that topic, and we've talked about doing live workshops, we've talked about doing online courses, we've talked about doing coaching programs. Instead of doing that, or in addition to doing that, you could offer an experience. So for instance, I teach a 16-week book writing program. I could also take that same content and offer a 3-day VIP retreat. So instead of doing the 16 weeks, we may go to some beautiful place and have a writer's retreat. Those are higher ticket programs. Those are higher offer programs that allow you to service your client. It's the same content, but you're doing it in a different environment. Number 12, certification programs. So this is where you train and license others to use your method. So I want you to think about franchising your expertise. That's really what this is. So let's say you have a coaching program. You can certify others to teach your system. John Maxwell is not the only one that can have certified coaches. You can have certified coaches to teach your framework or to teach your methodology. And you can charge for them to have that certification. And in exchange, you can license to them the content so they don't have to come up with their own PowerPoints. They don't have to come up with their own online courses based on your methodology. You can license that to them. Number 13, lead magnets and special reports. Now, you can generate PDF guides and reports that you can use as a lead magnet to build your list. More leads equals more buyers. So you can't forget, this is one of those things that people often like to not think about, but you have to continue to list build. It's a continual thing. You never stop list building. So I want you to look at your book and think about what are some things you could pull out of your book to create a really good lead magnet that can be used to list build. Number 14, telesummits and collaborations. Now, this is where you can bring other experts together for an online event to grow your audience. Now, you want to bring people who have your target audience in their ecosystem. You're not necessarily looking to bring people who do the exact same thing that you do, but you're looking to bring people who have your audience. These can be really, really good. Usually for telesummits, the admission is free, but you can monetize by selling the replays and also by making an offer at the end or during that telesummit. All right. So I want you to think about, 5 or 10 complementary experts that you might invite to participate in a summit. You don't have to wait to be invited on someone else's stage. If you have a Zoom account, you have a stage. Let me repeat that. If you have a Zoom account, you have a stage. So you can have your own events and you can invite people to your events. Now, I know that was a lot, but here's the key takeaway. Your book is just the beginning of your monetization journey. So whether it's digital products, coaching, live events, or speaking engagements, there are so many ways to turn your message into a business. Now, I don't want you to try to implement all 14 of these at once. In fact, I recommend that you just focus on 2 or 3 that align with your strengths and your audience needs. So you may want to start with your workshops. You may want to start with creating your digital products or getting that ebook done. If you're already established, then you may want to scale and look at doing a certification program or a retreat. But here's what I want you to do. Pick one of these methods and start working on it this week. Don't try to do everything at once. Focus on the easiest opportunities for you right now and build from there. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which monetization strategy are you going to try first? You can DM me on Instagram at VanCollins1. That's the number 1. Or just tag me in your post when you put it out there, what you're going to work on. That's it for today's episode of The Seasoned Entrepreneur. I hope you found value in our conversation and are feeling inspired to take action in your business journey. Remember, it's never too late to master digital marketing, refining your message, or implement automation that saves you time and boosts your bottom line. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love for you to do a couple of things. First, subscribe to the podcast so you'll never miss an episode. And if you really found this helpful, please leave a review. Your feedback helps other entrepreneurs over 50 discover the show, and it means the world to me. Also, don't forget to share this episode with someone you know who's on their entrepreneurial journey. We're building a community of seasoned entrepreneurs, and together we're proving that age is just experience, and experience is powerful. For show notes and links mentioned in today's episode, head over to theseasonedentrepreneur.com. You can also connect with me on Instagram at VanCollins1. That's the number 1, to continue the conversation. Thanks again for tuning in. Keep pushing forward, keep building, and remember, your best season of entrepreneurship is just starting. I'll see you next time on The Seasoned Entrepreneur.